Be like, we have not seen each other in quite a little bit of a time, and that also
I know.
translated into not having an episode or at least some chat time with the Then One crowd too. So, but,
Totally.
which kind of has led into this whole realization that as much as we do get or prioritize our time together, we both got some time to prioritize our solamente time.
Yes.
Solamente. So
I love that word. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm
exactly.
using it correctly, but
Yeah, I think you're using it perfectly. Thank you.
It's perfectly imperfect. So.
There you go. Just like us humans.
Yay! And
Yay.
So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Let's roll with it.
Yay! So everyone, welcome back to the Then When podcast. We're your hosts,
Mary and
Serina. And it's been a little bit of a minute. We've been kind of spinning all the plates, as it were. So there's a lot of times where
True.
life be lifing, yo.
Life be lifing, you know my favorite saying.
I love it. We need shirts. Let's do it. Stickers.
We're totally
Let's
making shirts. Life be lifing. Check out our shirts after we get our other stuff set up.
Look, yeah, we'll get it together.
When are we ever going to set up a Patreon account? You guys are like riding it live with us here. As we're trying to juggle all the plates, wear all the hats, and some things are just slipping away from us. So my apologies, our apologies on that. But you know what? Life be lifing, and this is how it works. And we're not here to be fake. We're here to be real. So,
and we do appreciate everyone coming back, and when they do reach us here. So I know even some folks that are about 5 episodes back. So we're going to give them a little time. I actually felt like we were giving them a little time to catch up, but no, it's been good. I think it really just kind of goes to show that like we're having a passion project here and we make time for it. When we make time for it, we're not forcing it. But I do miss it. Oh, I was having fiending like jitters because I was like, I just want to talk to Mary. I want to get back on, the podcast. And I loved having, Tanette on recently too. It was really a wonderful experience. And it just goes to show I've had a lot of conversations off camera, off pod, right? That have led to realize that there's a lot of stories out there that need to be heard. I mean, I feel when we go back to the whole regular people doing extraordinary things or even regular people doing regular things, it's really inspirational. And so I'm looking forward to really embracing and jumping further into our interview process because we know a lot of folks and they got a lot of stories and we even have our own as we build along. And I know that you and I have been living our stories for the past couple of weeks. So it's just time to catch up, I feel. And,
absolutely. It's so funny because I almost posted this on our social media, but then to be honest, I got lazy. Okay, guys? Sorry, I suck at social media.
I think you do great, considering that I'm not the one who has to do it. That's for sure.
Well,
so you just took it and ran.
It could definitely be better. Anyway, I was going to post about it, but I might as well talk about it on the podcast. I wrote down, like, in my calendar, I put you down for when we were going to chat, because I said to Serina, I was like, we have to chat before we get on the podcast. Otherwise, all of our catching up will spill into the podcast, and that's what we're here for a little bit. But not as much as we actually had to catch up. And I thought, like, how funny and adult it was for me to, like, schedule a time to talk to my bestie. But you know what? Sometimes it happens like that. And so I feel like if we didn't schedule it, we wouldn't have chatted beforehand.
I agree with that because I felt like we would just try to jam it all into this and then everybody else would be like, I'm waiting for the advice. And I was like, well, frankly, just going to let you know, disclaimer, everyone, if you're coming to us for advice, you got to grab your coffee and sit with us. I mean, I think that's kind of the thing is like we take you on the journey. We bring you in the storytelling. We share it like we would just as if you were part of, the circle of hanging out in the clutch. What would I give if I could live? Oh, my God. Here we go.
We
Right
don't
off
have the
the deep
license for
end.
that, but Disney, hit us up for sponsorship. We're here for you.
I hope I was off key enough that they
Yeah.
won't like come after us. So it's
I know,
satire.
right?
It's satire. But
Yes, of course. No, but really, like, I don't think that we're here to say, like, hey, this is the end all be all. I'm not here to yell in your face to tell you how to behave and live and do things, right? But I think that we talk about things that are relatable, that maybe put a bug in somebody's, I don't want to say ear, but I've already started.
in the booty.
But just, I have to think of a much better phrase for that. Sorry, guys.
That always reminds me of the Eddie Murphy song, but we're not going to do that. So it's okay. Hey.
We
But
are, yeah, but we're here to like put a little buzz in your brain. Ooh, that's what we'll call it. A
buzz
buzz in your brain about something that you can sit and think about and make it your own. And if it applies to your life and it impacts it in a positive way, amazing. That's what this is all about, right? And if it doesn't work for you, that's really good information too, because you need to know what works and what doesn't work in order to figure out what you want to include in your life and how you want to be.
You want to know how many lessons I learned by watching somebody else and going, I don't want to do that. Not necessarily in judgment, but going,
Yeah.
I don't align with that outcome. So
Yeah.
I've just been like, okay. So I feel like that's kind of the case here. It's like what works for one person may not work for the other, and I feel like we always, when we're talking to people, when I'm talking to people, I always try to meet them where they are because it's easier to at least in my perception of it is while I'm making my way to that person, I'm kind of seeing what's in the gaps between me and them and making note of those positions to bring that person along through on the way back.
Yeah.
Just a little mind trick for me. So, but that
I
being
love
the
that.
case, yeah, because I think like it's landmarks, like even mental landmarks and what you're doing, like traveling around places. And today I know we're going to get to talk a little bit about what you're doing when you're kind of traveling or you're going out on your own, you're branching out and the things that you make yourself aware of as you're doing so. And I know you and I have two different kind of stories to share in this regard and just how they sat with us and felt. Which I think is beautiful because they are dynamically different.
Yes. And I love that, one is more of like, yours is more of like on that big, more global aspect, which is
literally.
Fun. Yeah, literally. And mine is more of like on the local everyday aspect, which is fun to have an example of both. Although, dude, we better be switching soon. I want to have a global experience.
We could do this.
Or like, let's do it together. Find us on the podcast in Australia.
Yeah. We'll follow the bouncing ball. Yeah. I mean, we might share a location or we might not.
Ooh.
So we'll give
gosh, we should
clues.
do secret pop-ups. Put that on our list.
Yeah. And then we'll just be like, find us. And then,
Yes.
like the people that put like dollar bills out and they tape it and they put it on social media and then everybody just flocks to a location because they're trying to find it.
Oh, fun.
That's a like total diversion from what we're talking. But hey,
yeah, no, but it's talking about adventure.
Yeah.
So there you go. It works. So yeah, why don't you share with us kind of like your recent adventures and, more on like how it was for you since you were kind of traveling together, but solo.
Yeah. I mean, I've been tickling time zones. That's what I've been doing over here. I know that
you have the
strange.
best phrases, right, guys? She has the best phrases.
Well, I'm a sucker for alliteration too. So if I can find a way to say it, I'm going to do it. So but yeah. So I've come off of several little I say micro trips, but they have been. It's been the global one was I went to a conference over in Portugal, and I have never been to Portugal, and certainly not Lisbon, and it was a very eye-opening experience for me from a perspective of going it alone. Like I was there with a group of people for sure, but I took an extra day and I literally explored the entire city on foot, which is not something I would even somewhat do in my own backyard sometimes. And that's knowing the language and knowing the landscape. And so I set out with my trusty little phone with a general plan.
Fully charged, hopefully.
100% fully charged. However, it
Yay.
did not stay as such, and that was part of my I won't say predicament necessarily, but the adjustment in plans, or at least how I embraced it to make my plan work, right? Or work
Yeah,
the
the
plan.
journey of it all.
Oh, for sure. And so I had gotten some recommendations from some folks who've been there before. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to set out and I'm going to do it. So I was looking at the landscapes and I was looking at the landmarks themselves and just trying to make sure I knew how to get home, even if on foot, it would have to adjust at some point in time. So I had pretty much a path in mind, but I was going just to explore and experience the entire city. And, I wound up
Leading with your
covering.
belly button.
Yes,
Aw.
absolutely. And my belly button got a little hungry, so it stopped at a coffee shop. So
Ooh,
so
fun. What's
so,
Portugal coffee like?
um, well, it's just coffee to me. I mean, there wasn't much of a difference. There's not so much like it's not like in the belt
It's like
line of
regular drip
roasting
coffee.
coffee, yeah. Um, so sorry if anybody's like, "You just didn't go to the right place." I didn't because I went to a place called the Copenhagen Coffee Lab, so shout out, link in show notes.
Wow.
But,
Sounds so authentically local.
well, it was beautiful, and I'll post a picture of it in our, Discord under
Discord,
our
hit it
noticings,
up.
and, yeah, and it was really incredible just to explore it. It felt like doing one of those walking tours that people post on YouTube, of
Cool.
certain areas. The cobblestone streets were gorgeous. The
Oh,
all of the souvenir shops, and, I happened to kinda go around some of the other places that are a little bit more residential, so you had, like, the schoolyards, and you heard the kids just having a great
oh,
time, and,
yeah.
all of
Experiencing
the
the whole culture there.
yeah, weaving in and out of tourist districts and stuff, so you could kinda, like, get away from it or get into it, and then went to the waterfront, and, yeah, I spent almost about 8 miles on foot just wandering, which was
Wow.
inspirational and liberating, and obviously, I was very aware of which directions I was going. Essentially, I
Yeah.
wasn't going too far off a beaten path or down alleyways that looked sketch or anything, which
Yeah.
I didn't find any on my travels.
How did
But
you get through the language situation being on your own?
I really didn't engage too much in the locals, unfortunately. That's usually what I love to do. But I knew some of the pleasantries of, showing up and saying hello and thank you and, all of those kinds of things. And any kind of menu ordering was really relatively easy.
So
But
essentials.
yeah, all the essentials. And a lot of people do have bilingual tendencies there. Not that I like to lean on that, but I did try, at least when I found out I was going, to cram in as much as I possibly could just from, basic conversational pieces. So,
Cool.
the folks were lovely. The atmosphere was gorgeous. So much was in bloom that it was just a feast for the eyes. And
Nice.
I would recommend it. I would definitely would go back. I went to the oldest bookstore in the world, so that was pretty
What?
fun. Yeah.
Oh, send me a pic of that for
But
sure.
I'll post it all, but, it really I know there's a lot of people out there who would be very skeptical or scared, and not to say that I didn't have some moments of going, "How the heck am I gonna get through this?" You know?
Yeah.
But it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the scenery, the street art, the just sharing a smile. What Tanette
Like what
said
we talked about last episode.
correct, yeah, it
Nice.
transcends language, so, unless you're doing some really crazy, grimacing at somebody and they're like, "Whoa, hey." Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I found a lot of freedom in it, and it was something that I knew that I could take care of myself in, and I don't think I would have usually done that under any other circumstances. I would have waited if I were traveling with someone, I would have said, "Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do this." If they didn't wanna do it, then I would have
Mhm.
probably acquiesced and did something different, and this was all me, and that
Yay.
feeling was extraordinary. So,
Yeah.
I highly recommend it for anybody out there who typically does wait, um, for the group or a partner to go and do something, is to stretch your wings a little. I mean, you don't have to do it in a foreign country, in a foreign
Go to
city.
Portugal now. Sell
Yes.
all your possessions. What?
No.
Serena, what are you
No.
saying?
What are you, ventriloquist? So So yeah, and then I bopped around a couple other places once I got domestic, um, and just kind of went with the flow. Did my work, just kept on checking in, and then
That's how you know
just
when
existed.
someone travels a lot, when they're like, "Oh, when I got back domestic."
Well, we were talking about someplace foreign,
No, you're
so
right,
or
you're right.
international.
You are my little traveling buddy, my traveling
I need my
friend.
little gnome hat, kind of like my
I
favorite
know.
movie Amelie, where she steals the gnome out of her dad's yard and has it travel and take pictures, which is super cute.
Oh,
But
that's adorable.
yeah, I'll put link in show notes. Favorite film ever. But
Oh, definitely, link
uh
that.
but yeah, I mean, I know that was kind of a very adventurous spirit, a very out there and almost embracing and looking to be in solitude and seeing how I did with it, or I really kind of was running towards it, in a
Yeah,
case, and balanced out my overpeopled aspect of things to really embrace going in alone for a little bit. So
yeah. Have you always been comfortable with doing things alone?
The first time I went to a movie, like an actual movie theater alone, was a very interesting, like, experience. But then after a minute, I was like, "Oh, I really like this too." Of course, I
Yeah,
love going with friends and family and everything
sure.
too. But there is something about eating at like a table by yourself, going to the movies, just being in a moment and going, "This is everything." I'm not asking anybody if their comfort is necessarily
Yes.
having to be considered because I will consider everyone's comfort, promise you.
Ditto.
So, that was such a differing feeling for me, and I I I really want to recommend and suggest that people kind of look at themselves and what their typical MO is, and then try something outside of that, like in the total 180 and see how it feels,
Yeah.
and just see
Sounds
how it
like
fits. Try it
sounds
on.
like that's a try it on moment.
Exactly.
You
So,
took the words out of my mouth.
mm,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think just even doing it in your own backyard, or in your own community or area and see how it feels.
right. And I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what you got to do, and whether or not it was something that you intended or not, let's
Yeah, no, I
jump into it.
have sure, yeah. I haven't always been comfortable doing stuff by myself. I also have been to a movie by myself. I'll tell you what, in college, I got to be an RA in the summer in Berkeley, California, and it was so, so fun. And because I'm from New York, I didn't really know anyone, right? Like I met people over the course, but it was like one of those places where people learn English. And so there was a lot of like in and out. And so, people didn't really stay. And I had to do a lot of stuff on my own. And that was so different for me because I'm the oldest of four kids. And so, like, I was literally never alone
Yeah.
since I was like two
Well, and
and
that's
under.
like, let's pause on that thought for a second, especially for all of our other eldest out there, is that is such a reality for you that you're so used to sharing your time, your space, your attention, and
Yeah.
this now is such a like an opposite, end of the spectrum for you to really explore just stuff for you. So
Yeah.
that's incredible. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I've had to deal like that summer was such a huge summer of growth for me in that aspect of doing things by yourself. And I'll say, like, I started the summer off super excited to be there. Then when I got there, I cried on the bus ride home from after the movie. I cried, just like sat there and just unabashedly cried because it was so sad for me to do that. Try going to eat by myself, very sad. But I'll tell you what, by the end of that summer, I liked doing those, or they weren't as terrible, and I
Uh-huh.
was doing them more easier, if that makes sense.
I have seen you like in my mind's eye, and especially because probably back in the year 2005, so long ago, guys,
Back in the day.
meeting up in New York with Mary and just the fearlessness and the strides that you would take in this very confident direction, maneuvering a group of us that had never been there before through the subway system and then all the streets and all, you know,
Yeah.
I always just envisioned you just being like level of city girl who could handle it and just knew exactly where she was going, and she's the one with the bag with the, and like all by herself, just boom, 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 and just really
Yeah.
owning it. So that's how you always kind of that's one of the personas of you that I have in my
Oh, I
in
love
my
that.
head.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel that way now. And
Mhm.
so I'm able to I love exploring new places by myself. And so like, yeah, this past time that we've been off has been for me has been a little bit different from my norm. Like I'm usually around a lot of people all the time and my life is very go 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 and I recently had the opportunity to slow down and bring some intentionality into my days and think about what I want my days to look like because I'm going through this thing right now where I know you've heard me tell you this before, but like all we have are these moments that we're in, right? And so, how do we want them to look within the life we have already built and
For
that we're
sure.
in right now? Um, so like it was kind of like a making lemons into lemonade situation where something at work got canceled and so I ended up having this found time, which I love that phrase.
What a gift.
And yeah, what a gift. And I could have easily just filled it with more work, right? There's always more work to do. But that's the thing, Serena. There's always more work to do,
Mhm.
right? Like the to-do list never ends. Life continues. And so I thought to myself, what do I want to do with this moment that I've been given here? And so fortunately, I was able to go kayaking, and that's something I did by myself. And
Yay.
it was really fun. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm really glad that I took the time to think about what I would like to do in that moment. Because honestly, last year I didn't take my kayak out at all. And it was so disappointing. And so it was like a then when for me, kind of, it's
That's
like,
beautiful.
I have this time. When am I going to go kayaking if I don't do it in a moment like this?
And I loved the
And
picture you sent too. I was like, "Oh, that looks so refreshing and
oh,
wonderful." Ugh,
yeah,
to
it
be
was
out on the
so
water.
nice.
Mhm.
And it was like kind of cloudy, which I like because then the sun's not beating down on you. And there were some other people out. And you know what I love when I'm doing something outside of my norm and then I notice or I recognize other people doing the same. And it's kind of like, oh, yeah. Like, we're not always all the time in this hamster wheel of life, right?
Right.
Like, when I go on a road trip and I see out of state cars, along my way, I'm like, "That person's on a road trip, and that person, and none of these people are working right now," And I could think that's kind of like what I have to remind myself is sometimes you're in this hamster wheel, and it seems like you're just going, and doing the things that have turned into habits kind of, right? And
Right.
then one day you wake up and a period of time has passed and it's like, what's happening here? When am I going
Mhm.
to drive this a little bit?
Yeah, I spent, several big moments sitting in gratitude over the last couple of weeks, and they slowed time down. It really was
Yes.
a great little magic trick, that I could just sit there and acknowledge that things were good and things felt good, and there was no rush or demand of time or action. And not that that is always afforded for people, but when it kind of comes back to one of my favorite quotes is if you can look around and say, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. And
Yes.
that helps you stay in the moment and a little longer. That helps the chemicals just linger and really acknowledge that your life is made up of a lot of different moments. Some are fantastic, some are mundane, some are difficult. Um, but the ones that you give the most attention to are the ones that last the longest. So,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. So I'm trying to employ that a little bit more in my day to day. Part noticing, part meditation, part just expressing gratitude. I know that's a large part of it, and I know a lot of people preach that, and I don't think they're wrong. There is a benefit to it in life, and I know that's a luxury in some cases for some folks, or at least what they can be grateful for can differ from what other people's is. But when you can have it, when you can see it, and when you can hold it, do so.
Yes, totally agree. I used to not really love that word gratitude because remember, like back in the day, it was like, oh, I'm so grateful for this. And people had a gratitude journal and all this stuff. And all of that stuff turned out is lovely, right?
Yeah.
The thing is like, just don't be annoying about it. And here
Right.
we are kind of being annoying about it a little, but we're not trying to be.
Well, I
Not
think
in the
there's
way of like, oh, I use a gratitude journal every day.
No, well, yeah, I mean, I think there's, like, the noticing journal. I think it's kind of in a sense,
Mm,
but, I haven't even been good about that necessarily. I've been wanting to return back to my daily pages or my morning pages, but I did share a different quote that came upon I have a calendar, like a desk calendar that I can just scribble, like, all the things I just need to keep kind of in my sphere of knowledge over here at the desk, and it is a gratitude calendar, so
okay.
stay with me, all right? It's
No
not
judgment, just
overbearing, stay
curiosity.
with me.
We're being
But
curious.
yes, and so it has a quote at the top, and then it has a question at the bottom, and I hadn't been really paying attention because there goes my noticing factor. I'm like, whatever." But,
Right.
there was one that kinda struck me, especially after these last couple weeks, is offering genuine gratitude comes from a willingness to take account for all you have been given and to understand that none of it was guaranteed.
Ooh,
That is Day oh no, Sheldcrit? I hope I said their name correctly. But I'll post that up too,
let's
just,
not bet
to
on that.
share. No, no, probably not.
It's
Um,
fine. Good effort on your part. Yeah, post that up to share. That
I
is so
will.
nice. What's the question?
The question, all right, and this is going to be a posed question to everybody. Let's hear it. Is what seemingly ordinary things enhance your daily life?
Ooh, I'll
Oh,
answer that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. For me, it's the nature around me. Like when you
Mm,
were talking about taking some time to sit in gratitude for the stuff that was going on in your life, I've also been doing that. And I have a dog, so I'm outside kind of frequently throughout the day. And one day I just kind of like stood there looking at these beautiful pine trees that I have and all of this wonderful nature around me. And I thought to myself, like, I had this overwhelming moment of gratitude there. Like my
hmm
scene has not always looked that way. My life has looked different throughout this journey. And so to be able to sit here in a place that I used to feel totally different about, like I always used to say, this like living in the middle of nowhere and that kind of stuff. And turns out I end up really loving it.
You
And
embrace it,
so, yeah. And
acknowledging it. Yeah, yeah.
right. And so it's nice to have kind of that mindset change and also noticing, my journey in that, I guess, idea of where I was living.
Yeah, and I kind of struggle a little bit with the word ordinary in this case because I look at how everything has been constructed and through like the magic and the structures of molecules that make up that nature that you're expressing gratitude and acknowledgement to. Same thing is like, okay, it's almost like what you take for granted rather than what is ordinary, like what you just have
Yeah.
in your life happening around you, always there. Mine was a body moment, right? Mine was
Mm.
like being grateful for this body. Like I have like lots of aches and pains every single day, guys. Like so it's just the
Welcome
nature of
to your
getting
40s.
old or yeah. So all you young bucks out there, take care of it because it
Yeah, be
sneaks up
grateful
on
for your
you.
own body. Write that on your
Yeah.
gratitude list. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
keep stay flexy, definitely in mind
Yes.
and in body, but in spirit. But yeah, so even sitting with it sometimes you like one of the things I've learned in kind of the meditation of things is to sit with the ache or the pain, right? And to acknowledge that it exists there because it's asking for something. It's asking for attention. It's asking for tenderness. It's asking for love. It's asking for consideration. So when I've been dealing with that, or if I go, okay, you know what, I'm just going to move my body, whatever. Like you might just think that's ordinary, but walking is something we take for granted because not everybody can do it, right? And not everybody gets to do it for the rest of their lives. So I, I know I'm simplifying it, but I also look at how just incredible the human body is and all the systems that are in place to keep it going every single day that I
Yeah.
have to express the gratitude and just be appreciative of the fact that having access to all the parts I have access in my body does enhance my day to day.
Yeah.
And it helps me connect with other people. It helps me do work for myself and for others. And I don't want to take it for granted because when I do, I can feel like it almost atrophying at an expedited rate, and that
Yeah.
will not serve myself or anyone else. So,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of about like, I guess if we think about the overall picture here, it's like keeping that in mind, right? All of those things. And how do then we set up habits, tools, and routines to support, all of that stuff that you talked about, like honoring your body and what it can do for you. How do we support that? For me, it's eating healthy foods, moving my body, treating myself correctly. I'm sure that that's it for most people, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're
I
all
mean,
human beings.
so my question, almost an additional question, is what do you consider ordinary? And then really break it down.
Mm,
Is it truly, truly ordinary? You know,
yeah.
is it the color beige? Whatever. It provides a good backdrop for all the other extraordinary things you want to pop against it. So technically, it's doing an extraordinary job of making sure everything else is more prominently displayed and eye-catching. I'm
Wow.
gesturing at my wall at the moment. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
it's beige, it's more of a tan, but yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but look, you've got so many things going on there.
yes, I always do.
Yeah,
So,
in a good way though. But yeah, no,
yeah.
you're right. Like what do we deem as ordinary versus extraordinary? And what's like the criteria for that?
I think ordinary, when I'm thinking about it a bit more, is not having a a creative thought or a critical thought. I think when you are when it's just there's a regurgitation of something happening and you don't really kind of sit with curiosity about it, I
Mm,
think that is an ordinary approach to something. And um, it's easy, I guess. It might be convenient and comfortable. Uh, but I don't really see that as something that is like, oh, that helps enhance daily life. I think that is just more like almost avoidance to what daily life can be. And
mm. You know
so,
what's interesting for all
yeah.
the people that can't see you right now? When you were talking about ordinary, you were scrunching your face in the most adorable way, but you were like, ugh, ordinary. Gosh, like you were holding
No.
such like
No, it's judgment.
not
That's judgment.
judgment,
I
but
don't
you
want
were giving
contempt.
negative weight to ordinary over there, which is interesting because my idea of ordinary is or ordinary versus extraordinary is like ordinary is the stuff that you do every day, right?
Mm,
Including like all the stuff our body does for us. Sure, it is totally extraordinary, right? But to us, it's ordinary because
all
that's
right.
kind of our baseline. For me, extraordinary is like the stuff above your baseline, right? So
Yeah,
like going kayaking, because I definitely don't do that every day, is extraordinary.
I
I
agree.
wonder if Scuba Steve thinks that going scuba diving is ordinary or extraordinary because he does that in my mind kind of frequently. I don't know if he actually does that often. I'm
I'd
sure it
imagine
still is
because you
extraordinary
never
because
see the
he
same
loves it.
thing twice, right? Like
Okay, so
you
there you go.
yeah, well, look, don't
Yeah,
ask me because I will find something magical in everything. Like I
I
really will
know.
try
Me
to
too.
go, look, the world is full of all opportunities to find the little glimmer in each thing. So if I can find it, I'm going to amplify it. So
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's put it out there to our people in podcast land,
Yes, yes.
what is your idea of ordinary versus extraordinary? And how can you notice those moments more throughout your day? And I don't know, like play with that a little, see how that feels.
Mhm,
What do you feel is, you know what? I walk the dog so many times that sometimes I go out of the house and it's not extraordinary to be out
mhm.
in nature. It just is what it is. And I'm noticing the stuff that I don't like. And so I think maybe it's also situational and momentary, right? How am I feeling in my mind versus, what is in my surroundings and putting
Yeah.
it all together
Mhm.
is that part of noticing. Noticing
I
your mind, your body, your atmosphere.
Yeah, and if you're an overthinker like me, you're going to completely funnel all of it all the time, throughout your
Yes.
senses. So, I mean, I feel for you. I feel for everybody who has that kind of doesn't ever turn off 3 a.m., wakes up with a song lyric that they forgot from 2 p.m., that, oh yeah. Um, so yeah,
Yes.
help me. Maybe it's a help me define ordinary a little bit more where I won't wiggle out of it. So,
Yeah. Maybe
because
walking your dogs is ordinary sometimes, or maybe it's
never.
extraordinary. No? Oh
Those
my
guys are
gosh.
crazy. So
Okay,
yeah.
fine. That's true.
They're as much tangential in walking as I am in thought. So yeah. And I know it's incumbent upon me to train them, but I'm like, man, I just like they haven't sniffed that sniff today. So let them go
Oh,
and sniff that sniff. So
that's
what
true.
are they thinking? What has been here before? Are they sniffing
Totally.
from 2 minutes ago or 2 decades ago? Like, my brain just
Man,
goes,
you're really thinking about that.
I'm telling
I
you,
love it.
on constant. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I know. My brain is constantly moving too. How do we shut it off?
yeah.
You know what trick really worked for me recently? I don't know if I told you this, but writing something down, but on top of something I've already written. So just choosing like the first 3 lines of my notebook to write down all of the things that are in my brain, but on top, just on those 3 lines. So you're constantly like writing over what you've written. And
Oh,
then,
that's an
oh my
interesting
gosh.
practice. Like that gets to completely readable, right? Like or
Y
unreadable, whatever. So it's like,
Absolutely, right? And so it was a very interesting practice to kind of like step back and be like, what is all of this stuff in my brain? And look at it on the paper. Like, sure, it's condensed to 3 lines, but like, I don't know, gave me some interesting perspective of like in terms of overthinking or like perseverating on something
yeah.
that probably I should save brain space on.
Say that word again that you just said.
Perseverate.
Ugh, ugh, I love it.
Do you love that word or hate
I
that word?
do. I love it. No, I'm
I
like,
love
ooh,
that word.
everyone, new
Perseverate.
words, or at least new words in the local like vocabulary draw that I
All right,
pulled.
everyone
But
out there in
yeah.
podcast land, use the word perseverate this week.
Yes, that's your that's your goal,
You
and
know
tell us
I'm
how
a
you
word
used
nerd.
it, and like look at like if you could get a picture of the person that you're talking to and their response to that word, that'd be great. But
Oh my gosh,
extra
it's
credit.
deep diving a little
I
bit
know.
now.
Well, let me come so considering the deep diving that we've been going and the tangents that we've been on.
Yeah,
So we
tell me.
started with kind of venturing out on your own. And
Yeah.
that's still something that we want to challenge ourselves to do. So there
Hmm.
are a couple of things that we want to come back and say, okay, what's our next thing that we would venture out on our own to try? So is there anything that you have already queued up, Mary, or is it still something kind of you're pondering, perseverating on? That's not the right word.
Ooh, no, yeah, perseverating on is good. I guess like you could use it in a good way or a negative way, right? It's
I think
just
every word is
whatever
like
your
that.
perspective. Yeah, totally. Um,
Context.
What do I don't know what I have on my list, but you know what? I like to do stuff by myself because one, it challenges me, it scares me, and it's something I know that I can do. Like
Mhm.
when I am thinking about doing something by myself, like let's say not like a concert, because that's something that can be really distracting. I love going to concerts by myself because I don't have to worry about anyone else.
Right.
But something like going out to eat by myself is a different story, right? What do you do with all of that kind of like downtime where you used to talk to
Don't look at
somebody?
your phone. Yeah. And
Oh,
try not to
no,
look at your phone.
yes, and that's what I do. I make these little games for myself.
Uh-huh.
So okay, fine. I sometimes pick up my phone, but I
It's okay.
also challenge myself to put it away and, leave it for X amount of time or until this thing happens or whatever, and just look around and notice where I am. And so I enjoy that, but also it's scary. And it's nice to be able to prove to myself these things that I think I'm capable of, show myself
Hmm.
that I can do it. What
Yeah.
about you?
Well, mine started actually with something that I was refusing to do by myself, did it with one other person, and now I'm actually feeling the gateway open to go back and do it by myself again. So,
Awesome.
um, so over the last week, I painted. And I haven't painted. I only do it usually as a group activity or with another person because I feel like it allows me or gives me permission to do it because it's a very dedicated space and time to do
Okay.
it. But I totally just I sat down and I did I keep on coming to meditation, guys. I really love it. So I will always hold space for your other fellow meditation nuts out there. But and then inspire other people to do it because it's really, really impactful and helpful. So, but yeah, I got to sit and just kind of take a feeling and take like an observation and throw it down on canvas. And I don't usually do that. I have everything squirreled away usually, and I made a very deliberate action to do so, and it was a great bonding experience, and then it also has inspired me. And honestly, what you've just told me about you rewriting over the first 3 lines has made me feel like I need one particular canvas to do that with, to start with
Ooh.
one painting and then paint again on top of it and on top of that and on top of that and see what that experience and experiment feels like, to
Oh,
me.
that sounds so
So
cool.
so yeah, I think that's going to be my next go-to is, and especially if it's through meditations, I can just constantly do the meditation and then boom, throw something on canvas and just keep going. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. I feel like sometimes with art things like painting, we hold it up at this like high caliber when really like if you have the supplies, get that out and do it.
Hmm. You don't have to be Rembrandt, and you don't have to be a highly lauded artist out there. You just need to be able to spend time with your thoughts and your body and the paints and the materials and just make something.
Yeah,
There's no right or wrong. There really
right.
isn't. Like it's just really the wrong part is limiting yourself to not do it because we were all meant to do art. We were all meant to sing, we're all meant to dance, and we just let comparison kill that in
Mhm.
ourselves. So don't let it happen. Just go out there and be contemplative and be deliberate with your joy and your art.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that, we are ending this episode with
Hey,
that
hey.
beautiful bow Serena just put on top for us.
I'll just keep on putting bows on everything. Like doop, doop,
Oh,
doop.
you're so good.
So
You do
yeah.
put bows on everything in your life, metaphorically, love.
My stars. This is gonna be a little like I'm like, oh no, gotta be loved up at the end of this thing. So,
Oh,
but
isn't that wonderful?
yeah, and I hope that we have loved you all up, or at least inspired you guys to go it alone for a little bit, or just embrace something ordinary and then give yourself permission to create. So between all
Yeah,
of that, I don't think you're gonna go wrong. So.
there
But,
we go.
Mary,
Until
I've
when,
missed you.
people?
Until when?
Bye.
So that's it for today's episode of Then When. Honestly, we could talk about this stuff forever, but we know you've probably got things to do, or at least a very long list of things you're thinking about doing.
It's been a blast, but before we head out, we want to hear from you. We're looking for your then and your when.
Exactly. If you've got a recent win you're proud of, that's your then. Or if there's a back burner dream item you've been putting off, that's your when.
Whether it's a total triumph or help, I'm procrastinating, we want to share your stories on the show.
Seriously, come say hi. You can DM us at thenwhenpod or shoot us an email. We can't wait to hear what you're working on.
Until next time, take care of yourself. We'll catch you on the flip.